Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Where's Willie podcast, sponsored by Heartland RV and, of course, powered by Jacket Media Co. Today's topic, the Airbnb of RVs. That's right. Class A's, Class B's, Class C's, fifth wheels, toy haulers, camper trailers, pop-up campers, camper vans, rootless living. If you want to take your family on an amazing destination, but you don't currently own an RV, Richard Sailing and Paul Kacir can help you get there through RVnGO, one of the fastest growing companies in North America in the industry of RVs. And I think the reason why is it's a fantastic program that they've put together to help not only RV owners, but those of you that want to seek adventure on the open road. So to the CEO, Paul Kacir and Richard Sailing, I welcome you both to the Where's Willie podcast.
Hey, thanks very much, Will.
So I know that you guys are very, very busy, and I want to get right into it. For the 4 RV owners in North America that do not know RVnGO, if you were to give me, just a couple sentences very simply, what is RVnGO?
So we believe in bringing people closer together at RVnGO, and we're doing it with the world's first free person-to-person, or some people call it peer-to-peer platform. So it's sort of like Airbnb for RVs. People can list their RVs and they can get directly together with guests who want to rent RVs. And when we say free, we mean it. We don't charge any fees. So even Airbnb charges 15 to 30% in fees. We don't charge anything. We do own the insurance product. It's best in class, and every RV needs to be insured. It's a motor vehicle. So there's no option about that. You can't just go on the road and say, no, I'm going to skip this part. And that's where we make our money. So we are able to make it free, and we have best in class insurance. We're just happy to bring people together and let them go RVing.
So, Paul, obviously, the success is overwhelming. And it's, so like I said, it's a real honor to talk to you. Can you just, for the context of the listeners, how did this idea come to fruition?
I mean, the genesis story is I was on a road trip from Scottsdale to Vancouver. I have a background in economics, law, MBA, and I was associated with some really successful companies, took First Solar public and others. And I was thinking to myself, I want to create a great company that brings people together and brings out the best in people. And I figured great people make great products. So what's the market? And I was thinking about the Airbnb business model. Really what they did was monetize the underutilized utility function of underutilized assets, in their case, second homes. So I'm thinking, all right, what other class of assets are there that are being underutilized? And on this road trip, I'm passing one RV after another when I came up with the idea for RVnGO. And I realized right there and then I wanted to make it free to bring people together. And we'll make our money. I talk about Airbnb, but really our business model is more like Google. You use Google today to find what you're looking for. You didn't pay anything to do that. And they've provided a great service, and they make their money off compelling value-added services. In their case, it's digital marketing. You use RVnGO and find an RV you're looking for. And in our case, we make it off compelling value-added services as well. In our case, it's rental insurance.
Well, and I have to say, the thing that impresses me most about RVnGO, since I've gotten to know you guys and we've talked a little bit offline, is, a lot of people will ask me, Will, why do you want to have RVnGO on? I'll tell you why. If you haven't noticed, there aren't a lot of RVs that are available on dealers' lots today. And trust me, I'm hearing about it. When I first learned about what you guys are doing in your rapid growth, to your point, majority of the people that buy an RV, they are not full-time RVers, meaning they sell their home and they live full-time in their RVs. A majority of the owners will take them out usually between 2 to maybe 8 weeks a year. That's it. So obviously you saw a huge opportunity to fulfill a demand of inventory that's basically sitting self-owned by people throughout North America. I love it because it allows people that maybe don't have the money or there currently isn't any availability to experience owning an RV, and you give them that opportunity. And if the experience is positive enough, then obviously down the road, more people will look to embrace RVing for their family by making a purchase. So I just think it's a great partnership of getting to know you guys and share your story. The one thing I want to tell all the listeners as well, here's what I love that you've done. Clearly your experience and expertise, somewhere along the way, you've developed a good knowledge of user experience. When I go to the website, RVnGO.com, they've made it very, very simple, even for an old meathead football player like myself, to easily understand. Under the how it works, you've got two options: either rent an RV, that means I don't have one and I need to rent one, or list my RV, meaning I have one and I need to rent it. And it looks like a 4-step process. You list your RV with confidence, you receive the request, similar to, as you said, in the platform with Airbnb. You set up a location for pickup and drop off, and then you can earn money. And in terms of renting the RV, of course, you do your search, you book it, you pick it up, you go and have your adventure, and then you return the RV. It's a great platform. I guess, what opportunities, since you've had so much growth, are you looking at now? Are you finding more and more people looking to list? Are there more requests that are happening with RVnGO? Or I guess, can you talk a little bit about the business today in terms of all the excitement that you guys are seeing?
It's a marketplace, and there's demand and supply. There's hosts. We call them hosts and guests. So people who want to rent out their RVs are hosts, and people who are going to rent the RV are guests. And they go up and up. So guests are flocking to our site. Our organic traffic since a year ago is up 90x, 9,000%. Just since last summer, the end of last summer, which is supposed to be the off season, we're up 10x, 1,000%. And that's continuing to double every month. On the host side, we're free. So if you're going to be found on Google, you might as well be found on RVnGO. It's a really simple sell. And so they're flocking to our site. We actually have the second and third largest fleets in the United States exclusively on our site. They don't want to pay fees on other sites, but they understand the economics of our site. So, hey, why not just come on board? And they are. Also, to your point, it's the best place to find an RV for rent, because you go to other sites, they just have individuals, they're sold out, they don't have that much selection. We have all the fleets, we have the largest selection. If the RV is available, you'll find it on RVnGO, and it's all one site, so you can compare, apples to apples and see it all right there. Every RV basically in the world is there. And because we don't charge fees, the hosts don't feel like they have to mark up the prices to cover the fees. So we have the best prices for guests, and the guests don't get a fee either. They just pay the credit card processing fee. Other sites charge you 10% for the privilege of booking an RV. We really believe in bringing people close together. And so we did not want to become another middleman and put ourselves between, the people who want to rent an RV and the people who want to rent out their RV. We want to bring them together, put them directly in contact with each other. Zero cost, zero friction.
And one thing that I want to point out is you and your entire team, I know it's, ESOP, an employee-owned company, which obviously brings the spirit to everybody having ownership and seeing the sustained growth that you're having. One thing that I want to point out that you didn't ever mention when we talked offline, but as of June 18th, RVnGO currently has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. They're also a member of the RVDA, which I think is probably, a very smart strategic partnership. One question that I have, and just again, assuming that I don't know anything about RVnGO. Let's say I'm a family, or one of the listeners, they say, hey, we maybe want to use an RV for a couple weeks. Does RVnGO set the limitations, or when you go and do your proxy search for the RV as well as how long of a stay, will the search algorithm allow people to rent for however many weeks or months they would want to, or is there limitations?
So the limitations are completely up to the individual hosts. The hosts set how many days that they want to have their RVs out. It could be a minimum of 3 days. They could allow one-way rental, which is exclusive on our site because we have fleet owners. It could be a 6-month rental or even a year-long rental. It's all completely up to the individual hosts.
Okay. And then, you had mentioned fleet rental. Can you, I guess, just kind of speak to that a little bit, or the understanding of one-way and maybe some examples of what that would be or what you guys have had in terms of past customers utilizing that feature?
There's an estimated 200,000 RVs for rent in the United States. that fleet of 200,000 RVs is completely dominated. So if you're going to use the Airbnb metaphor, this is like the hotel industry in the United States in the 1950s, where there were still individual owners of inns before, Holiday Inn, everybody rolled up everything up into big chains. And so those 200,000 RVs are really dominated by about 2,500 fleet operators. And they, on average, have 20 to 25 units. There's only 3 fleets in the United States that have over 1,000 units. And that's Road Bear, who's on our site, number 3. Number 2 is El Monte, who's on our site and not on any other site. And Cruise America, which is the largest. And we're talking to them about coming aboard. And we'll see where that goes. They want to come aboard, but they're just busy. And so then we have all these individual fleet operators. And so and there's maybe 10 to 20,000 individuals out there that are renting their RVs on a here or there basis. And so our platform accommodates everybody. The real key is we really wanted to reduce the entry frictions to 0 if somebody wanted to rent their RV. You just list it. It takes 5 minutes. Any transaction is automatically covered with our insurance. In the past, you had to go out and get really expensive commercial rental insurance. These are motor vehicles, and you're renting them. So you need to no insurance would apply to that. So regular RV insurance doesn't apply because it's a commercial transaction, and the guests' automotive insurance doesn't apply in almost all cases because, look, the deal is you're insuring a Chevy or a Ford or a Honda, whatever, and now you're going to drive a $200,000 bus. No, out of pocket, out of bounds, you're not covered. So we cover all that, and we solved all those problems. So it's super easy.
Well, and the one thing that I really appreciate, and I think the listeners will too, Paul, your insurance, so everybody's listening, when we say it's really good, correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't RVnGO also offer 24/7 roadside coverage?
Yeah, it's optional, but yeah, we offer 24/7. And if the guest, and we really encourage doing it. And it's not just roadside assistance, but okay, middle of the night, you can't reach the host. How do I turn on the microwave? And so there's a call center that they're trained in how RVs operate, and what's your make, model, and they'll help you out with that. But the real key there is it is a motor vehicle. You'll get roadside assistance, and you'll get a free tow to the nearest RV repair dealership, which could be really expensive. So we really recommend guests picking that up.
The other thing that I want to point out too, just from a strategic, I would associate it with goodwill, and that's probably why you have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. What I love that you guys have done, and credit to you, Rich, is how you guys have been able to grow. To me, you've been able to do it organically. I don't see a lot of ad spend, which, to me, makes me favor RVnGO even more so because it's your customers, whether they're owners or renters, that are sharing their excitement and their great experience with RVnGO. That being said, I know that I've heard that you guys have a wonderful affiliate program. Can you kind of talk about what that is?
Okay, so first of all, I want to touch base on a few things you mentioned there. First of all, we have a 100% US-based call center. And when you call us or you have a problem, you get us. Other platforms, they're out of country, they're in the Philippines. Good luck. Now, we do have an affiliate program, and you don't even have to own an RV or anything to use it. You could have a podcast, Will, and all you do is you register on our site, and you get a unique URL and a QR code, and you just embed that into your emails or into your podcast or anything. And 2 things happen with that QR code. Whoever uses that code to come to RVnGO gets a special discount. So if they're listing an RV, they make extra money. If they're going to rent an RV, they get a special discount. And you, as the affiliate, also get a referral fee. It's $50 for every reservation. It's $100 for every listing. So you got a couple 100,000 listeners or viewers, send that QR code and off they go. And same with the guest, they get a 10% discount on their next rental by going through that URL link or QR code. And we track that all automatically. If you're an affiliate, you get like an affiliate page and you can see it all there. So we have our own call center, and we built all our own technology. And I think it's pretty amazing.
Yeah,
we've
is.
Even gone a step further with the affiliate program. I believe we are the only RV rental platform that pays our hosts an additional $50 for every completed booking through our platform. Yeah. So not only are you keeping 100% of your rental rate, so if you're charging $100 a night for your rental, if it's completed through RVnGO, you get an extra $50 on top of that.
We're getting crushed by demand. Like, we have so much traffic. We really just want people. We want to bring people together. So we want the hosts, and hey, we're happy to pay you some money to accept it. Also, hosts, if they get a transaction elsewhere on Facebook or whatever, they can still come to our site and just do what's called an insurance only transaction. So they just book the insurance because, Facebook doesn't provide RV rental insurance. Or they can initiate a transaction right from our platform. So they have a book of customers that they're used to dealing with. They can send them a quote and, hey, just click here and reserve.
Well, and obviously, for everybody, if you go to RVnGO.com, you're going to see, and you just spoke to it, Paul, you guys are really about that destination and that experience. And the one thing that I really appreciate on the website is it looks like you guys are putting a lot of effort in keeping the population up to date on everything going on. I mean, if you go to the website right now, I'm looking at, you're promoting some of the incarceration music and tattoo festivals, some of the top 10 RV parks and destinations throughout the country. I guess, what was your thought process in, adding all this extra work to keep the site updated with so many wonderful activities?
Well, my thought process is we are bringing people closer together, and we're helping people relive the nostalgia of the family vacation, the road trip, the adventure of going to these music festivals. And yeah, if you're going to a music festival, why not get a couple of your buddies, rent an RV, and make a whole epic experience about it? You can park your RV at an RV park close to the particular festival, or even sometimes inside of the festival itself.
It's incredible.
We had a great meeting yesterday with NASDAQ. Stay tuned for that.
If you're an RV owner, go to RVnGO.com. If you are seeking to rent an RV, go to RVnGO.com. If you are an influencer, go to RVnGO.com and sign up for the referral program. Great way while you guys are living life on the open road to get some referrals through RVnGO. As far as companies or associations that would want to affiliate themselves with you, Paul, are there any that you are considering or entertaining? For example, dealerships, national campground associations. Are you starting to have those discussions, either of you, Rich or Paul? And what businesses, if they're listening, would you be open to them reaching out and connecting with RVnGO to have a discussion?
We're an open church. Anybody can come and pray at the altar of bringing people together. We've had a great endorsement by Kevin Harrington, one of the original sharks of the Shark Tank. We're talking to NASCAR, and we already have basically all the best fleets and dealers already on our platform and using it as the channel to reach people, because people do appreciate, an apples to apples comparison. You can find everything and then just compare it all in one place. And the insurance you're getting. You don't have to become an insurance expert and dig into everybody else's different policies and levels of coverage. It's the best in the marketplace on our platform. And we just kind of make it really simple. But yeah, we're open to any conversations. And we've got a bunch in our blog where we've connected with different platforms that are kind of affiliated with RVing and, cross promote. And we love doing that. We just love spreading the love.
Yeah, we've had conversations with several sales dealerships across the country who need help selling an RV because, quite frankly, it's a big investment for a lot of people. And so we're giving them sales material that shows the potential buyer how they can offset the cost of buying that RV by renting it through RVnGO. And then so the individual dealerships have a win because we're helping them close business, and they can use the referral link and they're getting an extra bump in their revenue.
Yeah, one thing that's been really popular. So first of all, we're the only platform out there, Will, that you can also sell your RV. So the same RV can be listed for sale, for rent, or both. And then we have a specific category where you can search by RVs that are available, rent before you own or try before you buy. And so you can actually rent the exact RV you're thinking of buying, rent it, and, work out maybe with the owner that the rental will be applied to it. But that's between the owner and them, and then buy. And then, of course, you can just look on our site for RVs to buy. And it's really popular with dealers who are selling RVs because they can list their inventory. So it's free, of course. And there's really no strings attached at all. We just let them communicate. It's like a free Craigslist idea. But then their RVs, if they're used or whatever, they can maybe be also for rent. And the dealers become part of our affiliate program and also make money on all that. And then the last step that a lot of them do is they'll manage it. Some dealers will say, you know what, we'll manage your RV. When you're not using it, we'll rent it out for you. Let's make money off it. We'll make a management fee, but you'll also make money, for doing nothing, just having the RV here going out over and over again. So that's all out there. It's really fun to watch.
Awesome. So again, folks listening, these are all letters, RVnGO.com. Richard, can some of the listeners find RVnGO on the social media platforms?
Oh, yes. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn, YouTube. We have a lot of how-to videos on our YouTube. We have some of our video commercials also on YouTube.
So we have a cool podcast.
And on Twitter.
We also did a podcast with Michael Waltrip from NASCAR fame, 2-time winner of the Daytona 500. That's all on there too. There's some fun stuff on there.
So I guess in closing, other than having the most badass rental program in the world for RVs, is there anything else that you guys want to share?
There's a ton of stuff on RVnGO, even just fun information about where to go and how to RV and cool places. So www.RVnGO.com, 5 letters, RVnGO.com, and just come and check it out. And I don't think you'll be disappointed. I hope not.
Paul, Richard, you guys have an amazing team. I thank you so much for sharing your story. Everybody listening, if you want to hit the open road, go to RVnGO.com. Thanks, everybody, for being on.